The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Alrighty. Welcome. It's Tuesday, the 25th day of July, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, and Lenders. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Maya Palacio, and she'll also be doing the news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy as well. Hey, Maya, it's a pleasure to have you on, for the entire show again.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, yet again at this time it always feels a little funny to me.
But again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I know you're going to roll your eyes, but it just looks like you're sporting St. George's colors again today.
You know what? Light blue was my color of last summer. It just goes really good with my complexion. That's all I gotta say.
So that's, I saw someone, I don't know who it was, but they really put this on Twitter last week saying, just because I'm light yellow doesn't mean I'm a St. George's fan. I didn't know that was a prerequisite. But anyway, folks, not every person of a certain complexion is a St. George's fan. They're just not going to wear Somerset colors during the summer. So we appreciate you, Maya. We appreciate you. Not wearing red. It's not a great fashion statement. And we know Sherry and her fashion during the summer, they just don't go too well anyway. But we appreciate you having respect for the president, Neil Paynter, who's joined us today. So greetings, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome the president of St. George's Cricket Club, Neil Paynter, on. We're discussing Cup Match 2023. So get your questions in. We'll get through as many as possible. We'll have an extended conversation with Mr. Paynter. And also, last chance, I did find out yesterday that we're pretty much maxed for the restaurant crawl, but if anyone falls out, you can definitely join us. So let us know if you're still interested in joining. It's going to be a great time. To those who have already signed up, feel free to show off, take as much video as possible, and eat as much food as you can, because we're going to have a blast. Also, folks, if you missed the video yesterday, we'll play it again. We'll play it. Should we play it again right now, just for people who may have missed the video, Maya, of the Cup Match selection night? It'll be taking place. We'll have Maya down at St. George. We'll have Sancha and Sherry up at Somerset. And we'll have Juglin Jason leading the team in studio. Lionel Can, Stephen Otterbridge. Those are the players. I just revealed them for the first time. Lionel Can, which is interesting because he is the last player to captain St. George's to victory in 2011. Yeah, that may be a trivia question sometime over the next week. But Lionel Can will be in studio with us, and Stephen Otterbridge, who played for Somerset, also the president of Bayless Bay Cricket Club, along with Larry and myself with Juglin Jason. So great night. And if you missed it, folks, go over to BCG TV right now. But here's the video that Tashel Bean produced and created. And this brother's just got skills, man.
Who has the most wickets in Cup Match history? Oh, that would be that by Bartholomew Jones. Wrong. Bimba Jenkins.
Bye, what are you doing now?
I'm refreshing my Cup Match knowledge for the trivia night.
Trivia?
Yeah. On Saturday, July 29th, the 2023 Cup Match selection coverage will be live streamed on bcgtv.com at 7 p.m. Take part in the night of trivia, learn how much tickets for the game are, and find out who's making the cut. Presented by Bermuda Communications Group Limited and Media Maya, and brought to you by HSBC. Who's taking home the cup this year?
St. George's!
Come on, shit!
It's just the ending for me that really gets me. He didn't know. I mean, I agree with some of our viewers yesterday, Maya. He didn't really have to include the Somerset bit, but like, it's not about us. It's not about me. But yeah, and folks, please don't forget to subscribe to thedailyhour.com, thedailyhour.com. You want to stay up to date with all that we have going on, and follow us on our social media channels, The Daily Hour, at The Daily Hour, to keep up to date with all that we have going on. Good morning to you, Karen Simmons. He says, good morning, Jamal and Maya. And Charles says, morning, is Maya here early for a joke of the day?
Don't do that. Don't. I bet you he didn't even prepare for it, so it's okay. We're going to be all right.
Maya doesn't want to joke. Bobby Paynter says, I haven't caught a show in a while, and this will be the one I see. No bias there, Bob. No bias there. Anyway, let's get to the news break so that we can bring President Paynter in early. And then, folks, again, get your questions ready, comments, so we'll get through as many as possible. Over to you, Maya.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. And starting out with my news breaks, I always have to talk about any road collisions that may occur before anything else. While there was one that did occur coming from the police, they say that around 5:35 p.m. on Monday, July 24th, police and other first responders were dispatched to a report of a two-vehicle road traffic accident involving a car and a truck on Middle Road, Southampton, just west of Rayner's gas station. Details are limited. However, one person has been transported to the hospital for treatments. The extent of the injuries is unknown at this time.
Folks, just do us a favor. Slow down. Please slow down.
Definitely. Please slow down. In other news, the minister responds to the viral video that was circulated from the West End Warriors town hall meeting of the Minister of Education. You may recall that we played it on the show and we discussed it a bit further. While the Minister of Education says that this video has been edited to create a false impression that legal advice received by the ministry and followed out of an abundance of caution is somehow the same as a legal binding contract or agreement. To be clear, there is no legal binding agreement or contract at all as regards to the choice of Somerset primary. He continues saying that during the 2023 budget press conference, the Minister of Education referred to legal advice received in 2021 to determine if just changing the decision from Somerset primary site to the Western primary site was possible, not about a contract or legal agreement pertaining to Somerset primary or West End. The ministry was advised that changing the decision would result in a legal challenge and from other schools, and the government would likely lose because it would be unfair to change the decision.
I want to have fun. I want to get ready for cop match, but folks, all I'll say to the government is potato. Don't play the people you need for stupid. I'll leave it at that.
All right, well, another big news coming up, so I hope you're paying attention right now, but Digicel has been selected to install the comprehensive network of CCTV cameras island-wide. This will be the installation of the 200 plus cameras that were mentioned, 250 to be direct, and this will happen within the next 25 weeks. The PLP government said that in their 2021 throne speech, the government committed to enhancing CCTV. We have kept our promise, they say, to upgrade the island CCTV, and this investment will undoubtedly enhance security throughout our island, making it a safer place for everyone. The Progressive Labour Party government has partnered with Digicel. This will include 250 cameras to deter and detect the crime in our community. This will more than triple the amount of cameras presently in use. The CCTV network will have a soft rollout over the Cup Match holiday and will be fully operational before the Christmas holiday period. This upgrade in technology will greatly enhance the Bermuda Police Service's ability to monitor and respond to potential threats to the community while significantly boosting their investigative capabilities. Additional capabilities will be added to the system in the future, such as speed detection, to assist in making our roads safer. The Minister of National Security, Michael Weeks, said in a recent press conference, I have a message to the public. This CCTV system, once we have it implemented, is going to increase the feeling of safety and security. So for those who are engaged in untoward behavior, you'd better be aware. A little bit of information about the cost. The total plan is said to be of a cost of $4,047,440. The cost broken down into two parts. Total equipment and installation value will be just about $1 million. and 5-year management maintenance service plan is said to be about $600,000 annually for a total cost of $3 million.
So basically, it'll be about $12 million. All right, cool. Got you.
In other news, Achilles Bay Beach project has been halted for 6 weeks to allow for urgent redesign, says the Minister of Public Works, the Honorable David Birch, who says the project to access Achilles Bay remains a priority and will be back on track as soon as possible. However, the public may recall that in May, that the 11-week construction project involving Smith hauling and excavating the commencement repair works at the beach opposite Fort St. Catherine would have started soon after. However, upon excavation, the contractors found no solid rock beneath the steps to construct upon, and thus the project had to be halted for redesign, which they say is going to take approximately 6 weeks.
Achilles Bay, I forget where that is, but is it St. George's? Is it?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right, cool. Just sorry. Okay.
They apologize to the residents of St. George's as well. It's obviously the summer holiday. People are expecting to be able to use the beach, so it's unfortunate they won't be able to. In other news today, the Premier David Bird and the Minister of Youth, Culture and Sport, Owen Darrow, will be visiting St. George's Cricket Club, and the Premier and the Minister will make a presentation to the club, as well as take the opportunity to assess the preparations in advance for a cup match.
Photo up.
And as I mentioned, the under-17 basketball team is actually out here in Toronto. I have a full video coming soon on this afternoon, sorry, on Media Wire, to showcase the interviews with the players and the coaches and some amazing dunks that our under-17 team actually did throughout the game. So it's going to be pretty fun to watch. But right now, here's a quick comment from Quentin Husband, one of the players on the team, who Coach Bullitt says had to be the MVP of the game that I was able to attend. So here's a quick comment from the player.
Oh, yesterday I heard you guys won your game.
Apologies. I'll have to show it later because we're still on the screen. It's not hard to come up. So apologies for that. But the weather today is a mix of sun and clouds with early showers of 2 likely to come out in the afternoon. And we have a high of 86 degrees.
All righty. Thank you for that, Maya. Today is actually Carousel Day. There's little things that go round and round and make you dizzy, right? So the purpose of Carousel Day is to honor this incredible invention. This is one of the most instantly recognizable fairground and amusement park rides. A carousel, which is also known as a merry-go-round, is a sort of amusement ride which consists of a circular platform that rotates and has seats for riders. Traditionally, these seats would be wooden horses or other animals. However, we've seen different themed carousels pop up all over the world. So happy Carousel Day.
We don't have carousels in Bermuda.
I don't think. I know some of the most famous ones are in Brooklyn, New York, and Wisconsin's House on the Rock in Paris, and in the Netherlands. But no, we have merry-go-rounds. Yeah, I remember going Coney game down St. David's and riding the merry-go-round, getting myself dizzy and sick. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, big difference. Yeah. But I mean, makes sense. Small Bermuda. Folks, we're going to take a quick break, come back with the president of St. George's Cricket Club. You all have a lot to say. You've had a lot to say. I've seen you in the comments on the news sites. I've seen you all over social media with a lot of mouth. Here's your opportunity on the Daily Hour right after this quick break. Stick with us. I said stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
Friday, welcome back to the big show. Maya Palacio, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on in our community. Just help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve it. Well, without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. We've got the president of St. George's Cricket Club, Neil Paynter. Let's give him a warm TDH welcome. Calm down. He hasn't won the cup yet. Calm down. Gee. Morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. I'm great. It's cup match.
There you go. All of us seem like we're dressed alike this morning. So
I know. I swear it was even planned, but it went, I guess it does work out very well.
Yeah. Maya takes her journalistic integrity seriously. So, I mean, this was not intentional, folks. But look, let's jump right into it. As I stated just now before you came on, cup match, regardless of where it is, it's always one of the most talked about things. It doesn't even have to be controversial, but it will turn controversial in some way. That's just the history of the Summer Classic. But a lot has been said about cup match being televised. Just explain to the audience, explain the process that takes place currently for cup match to be televised.
Basically what happens, first let me say St. George's Cricket Club and Somerset Cricket Club are not in the business of producing television shows or radio shows. If an entity comes, sometimes we will go out to entities and ask, do they wish to put it on television? We may have a conversation as early as October, and then they may put some figures together and the like. Or people will write in and say they're interested in putting it on. We'll have a conversation. There is always a fee that is usually charged for the rights of that. Sometimes they are in agreement with it, sometimes they're not. So basically, we always want to bring it out to the masses as much as possible, whether it be radio or television. But at the end of the day, individuals have to realize that there is a component to it where you have to buy the rights to put it on any outside entity. I would say the last few years, Somerset and St. George's have literally paid to have our product put out there to the masses, but it has to come a time when we have to make a decision that we can't be just paying out money for something that actually belongs to the clubs.
It's interesting because having had the privilege to work in the media space in Bermuda and outside of Bermuda, I think this is very unique. And I guess the response from the general public, and I'm by in no means taking the side of Somerset Cricket Club or St. George's Cricket Club, but the response from the public is always so interesting to me when we want to be like everyone else versus when we don't want to be like everyone else. It's like nowhere in the world is the club, for instance, going to pay the media company. That's just strange to me. It's literally the media company buys the rights and then they're responsible for getting the advertising and doing their thing to not just cover the cost, but to make a profit. So that part I just find interesting. My challenge, I guess, with the clubs, because I don't think the clubs are removed from fold, is we know cup matches taking place every year, unless there's a pandemic, right? Which we just had. But we know that cup match will be in Somerset in 2024, back in St. George's 2025. Why is it that we don't already have deals in place for those time periods? Is it because Bermuda lacks the there's only one real game in town in terms of media companies, and then there's everyone else who kind of comes up. But why is it we can't be so forward thinking with it?
Well, just prior to the pandemic, Somerset and we had sat down together to decide that when it comes to media coverage, we were looking at multi-year deals, meaning that it could be 2 years in St. George's and 2 years in Somerset. This was just prior to the pandemic. Then pandemic came, so obviously a lot of things didn't happen. Cup match didn't happen in 2020. And then in 2021, people weren't sure, or I should say, we didn't get permission to put cup match on probably too late in the day. And then what we decided as a club, because we knew that people weren't going to be coming to the match, we decided as a club to take the hit and pay and get it on. But your point is well documented, and us and Somerset have had the discussion since which that we need to look for a multi-year deal, because there's nowhere else in the world media companies would be crawling to other institutions to say, okay, the Super Bowl's coming, World Cup's coming. For example, when FIFA comes on the networks on television, networks buy those rights to put it on. But it just seems as in Bermuda, it just take the time and just, maybe because there's only a few entities that do it, they're going to have to come to us and sort it out.
So I guess you answered my question about what you're doing to improve the process. And I think that's the easy way in terms of just, multi-year deals are the way to go. Maya, just one more quick follow-up with that, because there's so much more to discuss than televised. We had this conversation last week about this, and there were a lot of great suggestions, but I think I had suggested, I'm not going to talk about Taylor. I had suggested, you know what, maybe offer it, put it out to maybe people beyond Bermuda, Sportsmax or something like that. If people really want it, then they should be. Because I remember back in 2007, when Cup Match was the first time ever televised for the entire day, and people were up in arms that they had to pay pay-per-view for it, right?
Yep.
I remember that. And we have short memories. And it's like, at the end of the day, someone's always not going to be happy. If you want it, I'm okay with non-Bermudians coming in to shoot it if it means that it's going to be cost-effective, so on. Is that an option going forward for both clubs to make sure that it can be streamed live or watched live?
The short answer is yes, because we had this discussion with a local company maybe about 2-3 years ago, and they talk about Sportsmax, possibly reaching out to them or putting it out past Bermuda. And the first thing people's gonna say, well, why can't we do it locally? We can do it locally, but I think that if we put it out, then people will realize that this is a very important product and a valuable product. Because as you said, if you remember, when we put it on pay-per-view, St. George's took a lot of licks. And that was only because an entity came to us and put a proposal in place, and we accepted it. And people were up in arms. And now I heard people saying, well, why don't you put it on pay-per-view? It's like, what has changed? Nothing really has changed. We have short memories. And I just feel that we as a country are very spoiled. And I say this, I say we as a country are very spoiled and we're so used to getting our way that, people don't realize what we did to get it on television the last 2 years in St. George's and Somerset. During a pandemic, we took a hit as clubs to ensure that it comes out to the community. And we can't continue in that vein, and we shouldn't have to. And our people in our country shouldn't be expecting us to take a hit to put it on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Teo was actually here on his first news break, and he said the comment, maybe, Bermudians probably just don't support it as much as we think that we do if we're not allowing to put money into it or give back to it. Now, my question for you, President, is what is your dream scenario for this to come out as perfect as you want? Having people view it, having the scaffolding done, the whole Cup Match experience at St. George's. What is your dream scenario?
My dream scenario is that everyone has the opportunity to either come into the grounds to view it or see it on other mediums. That is my ultimate goal for Cup Match to go to the world. There's no way at this time that people overseas should not be able to view Cup Match on any medium. So that is our goal as a club, because we have an excellent product. And like you said, Maya, I don't think Bermudians value it that much. They only value it when they can't see it. So if you value it when you can't see it, that means you must have some value in it when you can.
But I also want to follow up on Maya's question just now. One of the most puzzling things to me, she mentioned scaffolding, is, and I mentioned this to former President Blanchard Somerset once. At this point, and I know it'll take funding, everything takes money, which is why I'm fascinated and puzzled by people saying the commercialization. Hello, this is 2023. But anyway, my hope for both clubs, or dream scenario, was that, and maybe I'm thinking too big, having worked at the 5th largest arena in North America, but how the clubs haven't evolved to having multi-purpose facilities by now, meaning, either turning that scaffolding into actual areas and spaces where people can, sit year round for things. Again, maybe that I just don't understand the business of doing things in Bermuda, or actually purchasing the scaffolding and sharing them between clubs where it can reduce costs. I mean, I don't know if these talks have happened, but I know it was something that I had mentioned to Blanchett years ago. So in reference to Maya's question, like as far as scaffolding, like a dream scenario with at least that aspect.
Stay tuned.
Oh, that was a quick answer, Maya.
That was a quick answer. All right, awesome. I follow up for that too, because what does the profit from Cup Mesh, right? What is it? What is that used toward in the clubs? Can you mention a little bit of that? Like once Cup Mesh up, but what is that used toward in the clubs?
Yeah, because I heard, hey, President Paynter was putting it in his pocket. I'm no, but seriously, I think the way the people think in Bermuda is that most presidents of clubs, and I've been involved in my community club. Oh, they're building a house, they're doing this, they're doing that, and I think it's only right to dispel those rumors and myths to people.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going on. Former presidents of sector have been accused of mishandling money. I can assure you, and I can only speak for my club when it comes to my executive, we do not mishandle any funds inappropriately. Every profit that we make goes directly into our infrastructure, whether that be building infrastructure, programs. Those are probably the two most maintenance. We have a very large facility. Anyone who owns a home or owns a property would know what it takes to maintain. And we have close to 6 acres of property here, including a large facility that we use our monies for. And people seem to think that, we make millions of dollars at Cup Match. We actually spend quite a bit to put this event on. I mean, scaffolding alone could run you $250,000. Then you start talking improving your facility. Security now, something that clubs back in the day didn't have to pay for, could run us anywhere from 50 to 60 grand. That's money that we can be putting into our infrastructure. So, there is a myth out there that we're making a whole lot of money, but I think the myth can be debunked by how much money that we spend to put this event on to ensure that it is not only safe, but it is a good production. So, that's par for the course when it comes to club life. It's unfortunate that Bermudians, back in the day, clubs were revered as places, institutions where people came as families and came together, and they put everything into the clubs. The minute they became eligible to go to other clubs, now all of a sudden these clubs are not good enough, and we need good men and women to be involved in our organizations, because there are 3 pillars within our communities. There are the clubs, there are the churches, and there are the schools. That all within that triangle is the family unit that is in between it. So they have to understand that we are a very important part of our community.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. You kind of answered my next question just a little bit, but from your perspective, as like from the start of you becoming president to now, what have you noticed in the community as a shift in terms of like the values or the certain aspects of our tradition when it comes to Cup Match? What has changed?
I was asked that question too a few weeks ago, but not similar, but about the values. I just feel that people are not educated in what Cup Match is about. I think if they really understand what it's about, then their values may change in reference to Cup Match. People can always talk about it being commercialized. The commercial side of it is an important aspect of it to keep the viability of Cup Match at both clubs, but also the traditions and the values must be spread around this island and let people know what it's truly about. To say what has changed, and they talked about values, I don't think the family structure has changed. I just think values within families have changed. I think it's important that we maintain those family values, whether you are a single parent with two parents in the home, a blended unit. I think that's what's important.
Well, whose responsibility is that, would you say, on educating like the public on Cup Match? Whose responsibility should that fall on?
The clubs have some responsibility, but also I think the general public themselves, because there are many historians out there that know about it, who I think do a good job to a certain degree in getting it out there, but the clubs do hold a certain responsibility in ensuring that, number one, our general membership know what it's about, and also if people are coming to ask questions, that we have the answers that are relevant to ensuring the viability of this event.
My next question actually had to do with the players. and just the consistency of it. Like in terms of the development and the consistency, other players playing cricket island-wide, how would you compare today's level of players, i.e. like the skills and the mindset, to past players?
Oh, well. This question is always asked when it comes to football and cricket. I think we've always got the talent. The talent is there for us. And I think now there are more avenues for us to, at least overseas, to get this, to showcase those talents. I think there are many other negative things that are happening in this island that I think are pulling a lot of our players from the sport. But I also believe that promoting the sport in the right way and ensuring that there are systems in place that develop our young men and women to ensure that these sports remain viable within our community, because sports is a very important part of a lot of our young men and women's lives, and a lot of us wouldn't be where we were today without it. And I'm one of them that can attest to that.
Alrighty. Going to go to the audience real quickly. Essence of Elegance event says, Neil, have you thought about trademarking St. George's Cricket Club? Because at present, everyone else is making money off both clubs, especially during competition. Now, this was something that came in our Instagram questions as well, but it's something that people have been saying for years. Being in business, kind of understanding the way trademark and copyright work. What's the story for the clubs in this respect?
Yes, we are doing that. It was started maybe with intellectual properties that the Bermuda government had in that. I think it was within the I don't know, it was whichever part of government it was, and they were working with both clubs to get it done. And then, we can blame COVID on everything, but both clubs have come back together to get this done as soon as possible, because we want this done before the next cup match. Not only branding the cup match brand, but also branding our specific club brand, because we've had to deal with individuals who take our crest and actually put it on an item and want to sell it. And we've had to go to business and tell them that they need to take it off the shelf, because, they don't even come to us and even ask the question if they can use it. So it's ongoing, and we're looking, like I said, prior to next cup match, we're hoping to have a cup match brand and trademark. So thank you.
Alrighty, making some moves. Karen Simmons, she's basically says, morning, Neil. How is St. George's Cricket Club recruiting new members on the 40s to become members? Also, beyond sports, other initiatives to engage a cross-section of the community? St. George's all day.
Great question. We're very fortunate. We have a lot of members under 40. The last 2 years, our membership drive has been great. I mean, I must admit. So we're ongoing when it comes to that, because we realize that, we can't just have one segment of members at our club. If we're a community club, we must embrace from the young to the experienced. And many of our programs that we have, we don't just play cricket and football. Now we have netball, we have softball, we have evening league cricket. We have youth programs in football and cricket. We have a pool league. So we're trying to get as many programs that cater to our whole community, because once you have those programs, people will come. Going other days when people just want to be a member of a club because they're from that area. You have to have something there for them to sustain them at that club. And also what that does is bring different expertise into our membership, which also creates a more positive outcome when it comes to putting on programs.
Folks, again, if you have any questions or comments, please send them through. We'll go through as many as possible. Just from our Instagram, we have a question. Do players have to sign contracts that include behavior management on the field?
Yes, they do. And I would say that we haven't been consistent with that. We've had contracts probably involved about a good 15 plus years. But we haven't been consistent. But we do have a contract this year. What it entails is what you're responsible for once you become that technically an employee of either club. So it may run from, when you have to be in your hotel, the different functions you have to attend to, as well as behavior on and off the field prior to and during cup match.
All righty. Nicole Walker, she's asking, is the cup match trial invite only? If yes, why? And why has it not been opened up? If a process is not delivering desired results, isn't it time for adjustments? St. George's girl forever.
Okay, I love that question, but it seems like a question with an assumption. So I will answer it this way. Yes, it has been open. Trials have been open for both clubs. Anyone wants to come training, they can come training. And that's what we've been doing for the last few years. What our selection team has done this year is specifically target players and send out invites, official invites to come training. So yes, we're doing something different this year. We're not just allowing anyone just to come and train, but if they're interested, they can contact the selection committee, and if the selection committee deems them viable to be a part of our process, then they will be invited, and that's what we've done this year.
All righty. Karen Simmons, she says, is there a MOU that says a cricketer who is selected for a team but has no play time that they can't try out for the other team? It would seem poaching to prevent fair play and talent. Now, this is a big conversation here because we know players that would have normally played for St. George's back in the 80s, and they went to Somerset and had good careers, and vice versa. You see it happening the other way now. Let's talk about that. This is a good one.
Yeah, the rule states, which are the cup match rules, is that once you are selected for one club and you play that year, you are not eligible for the other club. That's good. And even if the club doesn't pick you anymore, that's a most unfortunate situation. Maybe you should have made a different choice. But basically, once you are selected, now if you are selected and then you happen not get injured and you don't play in the match, then you can go to the other team. But once you actually play the game and represent one club, you are not allowed to go to another. And that's just in the cup match rules. That's nothing that was invented yesterday. That's just the way it is now. There used to be a rule that if you were reserved for St. George's and the next year you tried out for Somerset, you can be eligible, and vice versa. But now, as it stands, which I believe has been in place maybe about 10 years or so, or just over, even if you're reserved for, say, Somerset, you are not eligible for St. George's, and vice versa.
I mean, I don't like most laws, so it's no surprise I don't like that rule. And it wasn't always like that, but it's been like that for probably majority of the time. Now, here's the thing. I know in the NCAA and college sports, if someone wants to transfer, like a basketball player wants to transfer, they have to sit out a year, right? I would love to see that rule amended and like going forward to say this. If someone falls out with that club, falls out with Somerset, and they're still of value and they, they are good for the game, right? Not just someone with an attitude and it's a bad falling out, but they're good for the game, but they just don't like George's or Somerset, and they still want to play, and you believe that they can be an asset to the overall experience. Why not say, okay, well, you have to sit out 2 years before you're eligible again? Something to that nature. Like, I'm just saying, let's just consider it different, because I think we could be missing out on some talent by doing this. Knowing, like, I think what her point was is if St. George's say, you know what, we're going to pick him as a reserve just so he can never play for Somerset. And now we've lost out.
And that scenario just actually happens. I can't sit there and say when it happens, but I know that happens. For example, if I see a talented youngster, and I'm just using an example, and he comes and trains with St. George's, and we're like, okay, he's not ready this year. I think he'll be ready next year. Let's pick and reserve. I'm sure that possibly happens on both ends of the island. But every year, Somerset and St. George's meet, and they consider different changes to the law because there have been many changes within the actual playing of the game as we progress. So who knows? In the future, that could be a possibility, but they're always reviewing and revising.
All righty.
Sorry, before we move on, follow up for that, can I ask why, when that law was put in, did it not have any statute of limitations at all? Like, was there a reason why they're like, cut it off? No, we're not allowing players to switch back and forth.
Well, I'm going to give you two opinions. I don't know, because obviously the law was before I was born, but it's all about pride. I mean, I'm a St. Georgian. If I want to play for St. George's, I'm going to try my best to play for St. George's. And if I don't, well, you know what? I just wasn't good enough. This is Neil Paynter. It's all about pride. Like if you grow up being for Somerset, how can you play for St. George's? If you grow up being for St. George's, how can you play for Somerset? And it's nothing against either club. It's just, this is me. You're either for Somerset or for St. George's. And if you're not sure, I don't trust you.
My goodness. I mean, hey, folks, you heard it there. But I want to go to the comments real quick. Nikki Smith says it's all about club pride. There are only 2 teams, no flip flopping. Well, you know me. I mean, I'm for St. George's 2 days of the year. That's all I could give you based on the last 12 years. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I give you 2 days. I was going to continue to ignore Bobby Paynter because she continues with this Jamal nonsense. It's an E in my name, lady. But she says, because where is the loyalty to your team? And I understand that and I respect that. But I think some people see it as it's not St. George's or Somerset. It's All-Star kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably why you have those differences with it. I want to go and back to Instagram because this was an interesting one. And this is something, you know, I love teasing Somerset fans about this. The best cricketers come from the East. We know that. We know that, right? But traditionally, you've seen players from the East, Bayless Bay, St. David's, go and play for Somerset, even Cleveland County. Question on Instagram is, why don't you guys pick from the best players in the Eastern County? Now, I have an answer for that, which is, well, there's only so many players that can be on a team. But please, Mr. President.
They want to know why we don't pick more players from Eastern County? I think.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Because Eastern County is not all that we pick from. We pick from wherever from the island. Some say pick anywhere from the island. Those that are interested in playing. I wouldn't say we go. I mean, I can go say in 2012 when we lost the cup, we had 8 Eastern County players in the team. I mean, if you want to go there, but you know, I'm not saying it was their fault. But I always heard this Eastern County thing. This is cup match. We don't tell you pick cup match players in Eastern County. No, pick the best cricketers that you have. But Eastern counties have rules and regulations that govern how they pick and select players. It's governed like that. And cup match is governed the same way. So we don't go and say we want them from Central County, Eastern County. We want them from any part of the island who are willing to pay for St. George's.
You want the best. And I think what I do like about cup match is not like the NBA or most American sports. It's like either East or West. It was traditionally, and they changed it, right? They changed it in terms of Team LeBron and Team such and in the NBA. And they've done away in the NHL. It's North America versus the world. So it's different things that take place. So I like the fact that someone from some end of the island could be play for the other. Let's get into the selection. Selection night is on Saturday, and a lot of people have questions because I was just talking to someone recently, and they were talking about the friends and family thing in St. George's. And I said to them, that, to their surprise, I don't believe it's about friends and family in St. George's. I know you all probably throwing stuff at me right now. I don't, and I'll tell you, I just think that the selectors have gotten it wrong. But keep in mind, my opinion is from the outside, right? My opinion is not knowing the data that's being pulled. It's not knowing the fitness of people. It's not knowing the personalities that are there. So from the outside, I just feel like the selectors have gotten it wrong based on the performance we've then seen on the field. So I'm not going to be there. But obviously, you know, Mr. Paynter, that a lot of people feel it's friends and family down St. George's, and that, you know, that's why we don't get the best cricketers. How are selectors chosen, and are you able to share who they are?
Well, the selectors are chosen by the management committee, or the chairman of cricket within our organization will go out and ask individuals would they like to be selectors, and then he or she will come back with a nucleus of persons, and we choose 5 out of that. That's basically how it's done. And I'm not a part of that selection committee, even though, you know, those who are less knowledgeable about anything when it comes to a club like seem to think that. But that family thing is always persons go to. That's their only argument. And it's a very poor argument. And it's people who are ignorant to the fact of what happens at clubs. If you look at a club, any club, they were built on families. There are families within every single club. Every single club. Now, if one family just happens to have some halfway decent individuals in there that play cricket, then so be it. But it's not picked on family. The selectors pick what they feel is the best. And yes, sometimes we get it wrong. We get it wrong. But why wasn't the friends and families when St. George's were doing so well? Because there were families involved in those teams. But because we were winning, it was okay. But now that we're not doing so well, all of a sudden it's friends and family. So I debunk that notion all the time because that's just people's go-to.
So I want to follow up with that with a joke. So I grew up North Village Community Club. What were the families? What's the name? Jen and Jill, right? So I mean, there's no lie. Most clubs, there's certain names that are affiliated with it. But again, I mean, are you able? And just second that, and I'm quite fine if you want. Are you able to share who the selectors are, or is that something that stays within the club?
No, it's no secret who our selectors are. It's always the coach and the captain. The coach and captain are always on the selection committee. And then we have 3 other individuals, which are Ryan Steed, Lloyd Smith, and Jelani Collington. Clay Smith as the coach as well. And Onias Bascom is on the selection committee. So those are the 5. And I just want to debunk this but I know it's always, as long as I'm president, people are going to think that. I do not go to the selection process. And I have every right to be in that selection process. But as I don't put any influence. But guess what? I'll take the brunt of what happens if you don't do well, because he who wears the crown.
Well, that goes back to Instagram. One question, basically, they're asking, the question's very short. They basically asked, I don't want to quote it wrong, sir. So give me a second. When are you stepping down? Now, I know you probably are the longest serving president of any club in Bermuda. You've overseen from the days of winning to the last 12 years of not winning. Do you have a time period for stepping away, or do you have more good things to accomplish?
My members are very aware. That's all I would say. When I am stepping down. This is a members club. They have no secret on my timelines. I never thought I'd be here this long. Believe me, if someone would have asked me 20 odd years ago, I'd have told them they're crazy. But my members know, and it's my members' business and no one else, and other people will find out when the time comes.
Can I ask a follow-up to that? What has kept you in your presidency for this long?
My love for St. George's Cricket Club. Because with all the abuse that I get from the general public and even sometimes my members, can't deter me. I mean, I didn't come through life and get where I am because I was given things, contrary to what people believe, okay? I do this because I love my community. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't take any of the stuff that I get abused, my family gets abused, very vitriolic comments that come about. You know, they don't realize that I am a father, I am a grandfather, you know, I'm a husband, and I teach. My profession is, I'm a teacher. That's my profession. So to vitriol and degrade me in the way that sometimes they do, yeah, it hurts. But I've got strong shoulders. And I stay focused on my goals, and I will accomplish them no matter what my obstacles are.
Have you found that even more recently? Because I know just our cultural, just the way we act as a culture has changed, has shifted. You know, even the violence has increased a lot in Bermuda. And I know you just said that sometimes you get, you know, comments back to you that are quite harsh. Like, has that increased more in these present years, or was it the same back, like in the first 12 years of the losses? Like, what has happened?
Social media has given individuals the opportunity to be very nasty behind a pseudonym. You know what I mean? I'm a person who's very approachable. You can have a conversation with me. You may not like my answer, but I'm going to tell you how I feel and the truth. But social media has given people the opportunity to be very nasty, not only to me, but even when it comes to anyone in a position of leadership. But that's what it comes with. It's just the unfortunate side of it, but it doesn't deter me because I'm focused in what I do. I was like that as a sportsman, and I'm like that as an administrator.
Indeed. It comes with the territory. Yeah. But just because something comes with the territory does not mean that it's right or acceptable. I disagree a lot with what my community club has done, but I support them. And I have never, ever publicly stated my opinions that I disagree with my community club. And you can go back on my social media. I think there are ways to handle things, and social media probably isn't the best way. And I'm just speaking to people who are, you know, part of the club, who have a love for the club. Yeah, there are ways to do things. Alan Young says, Wilson George's Cricket Club and Somerset Cricket Club come together and form a cup match committee to manage the classic as a unit and share the financial benefits. Well, this was a question that I kind of had, creating an LLC, cup match company. People have mentioned that over the years, saying things of that nature. Is that a possibility and opportunity to make something like that happen, or is it kind of too difficult? What does that look like?
I think Mr. Young knows the answer to that. But I would say this. As far as sharing the financial responsibilities, we do that. We do that already when it comes to the host club and the non-host club. We share ideas. We share everything that we're putting on. We are very open and honest, both clubs, between what happens at cup match, what has gone wrong, how we improve it. And as far as a cup match company, all those talks are also ongoing as well.
All righty. Let's get back to cup match selection night. So we're excited. First of all, thank you to yourself and Richard Scott, president of Somerset, who will be in the house on Thursday, folks. And I just want to share this publicly, if you don't mind. And so we were talking about cup match being televised earlier. This is exactly how it should work. We approached the clubs, and we said very honestly to Mr. Scott and Mr. Paynter, Maya and I in a meeting, we said, look, we would like to bring this to the public, selection night, make it an event. And, you don't have to do anything but grant us permission. We'll go out, get the sponsors, we'll do everything. That's kind of how it would work. Now, next year, if it goes great, both clubs can say, you know what, we want to put this out to tender, make it a part of a package, whatnot. That's how it works. So we're grateful for that. But there is a question with this, Mr. Paynter, because we're going to be working on Saturday night. Somerset's usually done early. Maya don't want to be done St. George's till like crazy hours. She's got to get her and get her beauty rest. Like why does St. George's traditionally take so much longer?
Well, if she comes dressed in light blue and dark blue, we may come down early. That's kind of hard to say. I can tell you, go back years. They used to stay after just so the club can make money, to be honest with you. But now we've actually been coming down a bit earlier than as per St. George's normal. The team gets picked, we come down, let them know, and then we can get on with what needs to happen. So traditionally, yeah, we've done that in the far past.
No, we're looking forward to it, honestly. I think Maya's probably like the most excited. She loves sports. She loves this. And, she'll be down St. George's. The others will be up Somerset. I just know that the Saturday before cup match, everybody's WhatsApp and Twitter is like, oh, anybody's got the team on it? Folks, bcgtv.com. We will be down there. We'll be engaging. There'll be former players, people on the grounds. Maya will be there throughout the day, speaking with people, interviewing people. It's going to be some cup match trivia. We're going to have some giveaways. And again, can't thank the clubs enough for getting on board. Nicole Walker says, Neil, you have done an amazing job for the club and St. George's community. You should be proud of the legacy you will leave behind. Looking forward to celebrating our win on August 4th. I want to go back to that because a lot of people, you said that people just don't understand the meaning of cup match. Not those exact words, but, there is an Emancipation Day holiday on day one, and then there's Merry Prince Day, day two. What are the clubs doing? Because I know as years have gone on, you've done more to recognize, but what are the clubs doing to ensure that these days are front and center during the cricket game?
Well, obviously, the cricket side of it has taken over. You know what I mean? But we usually would have a ceremony or something like that just to recognize. We may have a prayer just to bring it to the fore so people understand what it is about. But only 2 days, I can assure you, as the game goes on, things are just progressing so fast. So bringing those things to light during the game can become sometimes difficult. But if things sometimes are televised or on the radio, there are things that can be said during those times to ensure that people understand what those 2 days are about.
Okay. And while we're speaking, you mentioned radio. We addressed the cup match being televised earlier. Just explain one last time before we head out. It will not be televised or streamed at this moment. It will be on radio, but give just people an idea of how you're working to avoid something like this going forward.
Well, yeah, as you said, as it stands, it will not be on television. As it stands, as we speak now, it will be on 2 radio stations for the general public. What we need to do, both clubs would need to come together and work on a solution for this. And it's amazing that we have to work on a solution for this because we're not in the business of producing. But, we need to come together to form a collective agreement of how we're going to move forward when it comes to televising this event. And like I said, doing a multi-year deal with any entity so that there's no miscue, no argument that it's not going to be televised, because we as both clubs really want it to be televised. And I know some people are not upset, particularly those who have their cup match parties and bars who make money off of cup match screening. We just encourage you to come to the event and let's take it. People have been locked up for 3 years, COVID. This is the coming out cup match. There's no restrictions at the airport. There's no restrictions coming in the gate. Let's come to St. George's, whether you're for Somerset or St. George's, and let's have 2 great days of fun, cricket, and have a wonderful atmosphere.
But real quickly, how many people can the grounds hold? Because I know a lot of people were asking that last week when you had said come out to the grounds. Like, well, do we have the infrastructure?
We have the infrastructure. We've averaged, and I'm going back years. We can, over the 2 days, we've accommodated up to 10,000 people, and that fluctuates from the first day to the second day. First day technically is usually not as many people. People come for the first ball and they leave. The second day, depending on how the game goes, people will come in or they'll stay home. But, we can accommodate. We've accommodated up to 10,000 people over the 2 days.
All righty. And folks, so tickets are available on gpass.pm right now. And what is it, $25?
General admission, yes.
Okay.
And $15 for seniors and I believe children 12 and under.
Yeah. Yep. You got it.
Yes.
So gpass.pm. Now, does this mean people won't be able to get tickets at the gate?
No, you can still come at the gate, but I mean, the process with the online ticketing will be more streamlined as you come through the gate.
Oh, nice.
All right. We've got a rival in the crowd. Richard Scott, president of Somerset, says, "Good morning, Mr. President and TDH family. Happy cup match season. His time will be on Thursday. Thank you for tuning in, Brother Scott. I'll be sure to wear my blue again on Thursday. Before you go, what message do you want to leave to the general public as we head into the Summer Classic?"
I just want the general public to know, and I'm going to speak on behalf of St. George's and Somerset, that we as both clubs are committed to ensuring that the legacy of cup match remains strong and heavily within the minds and the hearts of Bermudians. So everything we do is with that mindset. And we're just encouraging everyone to come down to Wellington Oval. Let's have a good time. Let's party and have a great time, and let's do it without any violence. We've had a lot of road fatalities and crashes and violence in our community, and I think cup match is the one event that brings us all together. So let's show the world how we do it in Bermuda.
Indeed. President, we'll see you on Saturday, cup match selection night. Thank you so much for the conversation. Thanks for your honesty. Again, it's not about agreeing, it's really about understanding. So we appreciate you making the time, and let's get ready for that victory parade.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Neil Paynter, president of St. George's Cricket Club. Folks, do not go anywhere. If you appreciated that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to do a giveaway, couple of giveaways after this. So you can start hashtagging now. We've got President Scott in the crowd giving us a laugh. I'm telling you, you're invited to our victory party too, Sir Press. But we're going to do some giveaways when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We want to give away some Somerset ones because we don't want to be stuck with this. But we'll give you the hashtag as soon as we get back. So stick with us, coming back with the daily play as well.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
Righty. Well, what a conversation. Thanks again to President Neil Paynter from St. George's Cricket Club. If you appreciated the conversation information, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Also, thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these community conversations with you. I know a lot of people are hashtagging the Daily Hour, but the hashtag for today's giveaway is actually Cop Match, folks. Cop Match. I don't. Did I say the Daily Hour? Or they just
No, you didn't say anything. You said wait.
Yeah. I like how they read my mind. It's Cop Match today, though, folks. It's Cop Match. Yeah, hashtag Cop Match for that. But wow, my apologies. All right, very easy daily play. Time for the daily play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. The Cop Match edition is in stores. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Maya, are you ready?
Oh, I forgot about this.
Okay. It's easy. All right.
Just because you said that, no, I'm not going to get it. All right, go ahead.
Yes, you are. You're going to be fast, too. All right. Who was the last Cop Match captain to lead St. George's to victory?
It was Lionel, right?
She listened to me. I told you it's going to be easy. That's like I gave the hint earlier. That will be a daily play question. So Lionel Can, who will be joining us on Saturday evening during Cop Match selection night, is the last captain to lead St. George's to victory. Yes, he is.
I'm sorry. I should have waited for people to answer. See, I'm awful at this. I'm sorry, guys.
They're too busy putting Cop Match in there, Maya. They have even. Yeah, I guess let's cue it up. Let's do a couple of giveaways. Let's do a couple. So let's share the screen. Hold on. My goodness, you all really want a towel. Yeah, they want a towel. So let's do a giveaway. Let's do one. All right, let me give us a second, folks. Hashtag Cop Match. Good luck to everybody. Let's hit that drum roll. It's gonna be. Renee Simmons, congratulations. Hopefully you're a St. George's fan. Send us an email, engage@thedailyhour.com immediately to, collect your winnings. And hopefully, we need to get rid of some Somerset towels. All right, let's do it again. Let's do another one. Let's see, who's it going to be? Who's getting themselves a towel? Who's it going to be? Sheldon Fox, congratulations. You know what, Maya? Let's do one more.
We got a lot of towels to give away. Yeah.
Let's do one more. Well, I got in trouble because we haven't been giving them away. I'll make up for. Oh my goodness, Renee Simmons is it's just one of those people. Okay. All right, let's give one more. Sheldon Fox, send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com, and we'll do one more giveaway for today. Here we go, folks.
I'm sure Somerset person's gonna win.
Who? Georgia?
Somerset.
You think so? Nicole Walker, there we go, St. George's.
Oh!
Nicole, you know what to do. Please send us an email. Folks, we'll be giving away a lot more. We have a lot of towels to give away, so just stay tuned throughout the week, and we will make sure that you are taken care of. Maya, let's wrap today's show up. Final thoughts on the conversation with St. George's president, Neil Paynter.
Man, it's always great to sit down and talk to the presidents of each club and to hear what happens in the background, what they try to produce, how they're trying to make it better for the community. I mean, it's always important for us to know these things. We take it for granted. I really think we do as a community, just how big of an effort it takes to put on cup match. So I love to have him here telling us exactly what goes on, what happens, how the players are selected. It's always great to get into the spirit of cup match, knowing from the background to what we're doing now traditionally and moving forward, how we can progress. So a great conversation, great information.
No, I agree with you. Look, I was very involved in my community club as a child, but also as an adult when I returned to Bermuda for 3.5 years. I understand what it takes. It's a lot. It's more than most people see. I dislike what most clubs do. I do. That's me personally. I'm not involved in St. George's Cricket Club. As I stated just now, my opinion is from the outside looking in. It's not necessarily based on fact, right? But if I'm looking from the outside in, as far as the performance on the field, I'm like, damn, I like the way Somerset does things, which is why I asked about the selectors. But the selectors see what they see. I don't know what they see. They probably have information that we will never know of. Right. So I appreciate that. But the bluntness about the media aspect, folks, clubs, professional sports teams, they're not experts in media production. I think we have to manage our expectations as Bermudians. We have to manage our expectations. And I say that in all sincerity. There's only one big player in town as far as media production in Bermuda. And then there's some others. James Talbot, the late James Talbot, who actually produced the first cup match all day with Inter-Island Communications in 2006 or 2007, one of those years. He's no longer here. And no one's mentioned that. That as time goes on, we need to train younger Bermudians, educate them, so that they can take the mantle, so that they can carry the tradition on. No one's mentioned that. That the man who bought you and produced it is no longer here. And this is why having people like my colleague, Maya, is so important to make sure that everything I know, she knows. And that's why you involve people like Tashal Bean and bring him into the space. One person can't make this happen. And we have to be willing to bring people along. Just think about it. It's bigger than the clubs and it's bigger than the cricket game. It takes human beings to put this stuff on. And unfortunately, the reality is that some people move on, whatever that may be. Maya, have you got some daily inspiration for us?
Yes, on daily inspiration coming from American baseball player, actually black baseball player Hank Aaron. It says, and this is brought to you by ER Fisheries. Thank you very much, ER Fisheries in Bermuda, Ghana, St. David's. So the quote coming from Hank Aaron says, "The only thing that feels better than winning is winning when nobody thought you could."
There you go. St. George's, that's some inspiration for you. But no, thank you for that, Maya. Richard Scott, president of Somerset, says, yes, the late, great James Talbot, a media hero that carried change in his shoulders. And Renee Simmons, that's true, R.I.P. James. Yes, we must not forget the people who helped bring us something that we're now missing. But we, as the generation, as the people who are here, must ensure that those coming behind us have the opportunity to keep things going. Folks, it is time for us to go. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Thursday. There is no show tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday with the president of Somerset Cricket Club, President Richard Scott. Another good conversation coming up. She's Maya Palacio. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please give us a like, a love, a follow, and make sure that you stay engaged. Make it a safe and great day. We is out. Peace, folks.